Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We've got some breaking news, finally, out of Altoona, Iowa, where Adventureland posted a very interesting image on their social media showing a knight attacking a dragon. And then we've also seen images over the last few days of them removing their old 1990s Hopkins Dragon roller coaster. Danny, does this mean they're getting a brand new roller coaster, or are we jumping to conclusions?
It means they're getting rid of a bad roller coaster.
That is true. Funny story, I went to Adventureland first before Danny
You've been
got
to
there.
Adventureland twice, and you've ridden Dragon once.
I've been there twice. The first time I rode everything. Rode Dragon, said never again. Danny, you were there with me as well a couple of years ago with Adam Beard, and you guys wanted to go get the credit, and I said, no, thank you.
I'll sit on this bench here.
I sat on the bench.
You didn't even go and ride another ride. You just waited for us.
Did not. I just went to go sit on the bench, and I said I'd rather sit on the bench than that ride. So, Danny, I will not be missing Dragon anytime soon.
No, certainly not. I remember sitting towards the back of the train, and I remember there being like some really good airtime on the drop, and then the loops were actually somewhat intense. And there's a helix after the two loops that's really intense in terms of positive G-forces, but you're banging your head the entire way through the whole thing, which is why it's so uncomfortable. I don't know if I can remember a ride other than the Manhattan Express where a regular old vertical loop was as rough as that ride and was just so goddamn unpleasant to ride. I can't think of a better way to describe it.
No.
So it begs the question: you're taking out a roller coaster that's 30 years old, if we can do math. So what does this mean? What might replace it? Some are already speculating at a name of Dragon Slayer because of that image. I don't know that there's anything besides just speculation to that. I don't think there's any credence.
It'd be a cool name. Like, I think it's a cool name, Dragon Slayer. Yeah. It makes sense that you're kind of doing the old Dorney Park gimmick of renaming something.
Call it Hercules.
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't disagree with that. Some people are jumping to speculation saying it's a water park expansion. And Danny, we looked at the map of Adventureland.
It's difficult to do.
Tornado's right in the way. Like, I guess you could put something underneath it. But like, my question is, why wouldn't you just expand where it looks like there's a whole bunch of other land there? I don't know how well that map is drawn to scale. But it looks like there could be land right above the park, right above the water park that you could use. And you don't get a whole lot of extra land by getting rid of Dragon. Dragon basically hugs Tornado. It's Tornado, right? Tornado is the
it hugs. It sort of goes in a circle around the lake. The pre-lift area goes over the water, and then it sort of lines up with Tornado. And the lift hill goes along the outer part of Tornado and then makes sort of the dog leg right to follow Tornado on the backside of the lake, does the loops, and then the lake sort of ends, and then it does the helixes and whatnot, and then comes back to the station. So it's kind of like it goes over the water, but not really. It kind of goes on both sides of the water.
Yeah.
And it hugs Tornado, so there's not a whole lot of land on either side, because where the station is, you've got the midway and the station area, but then you've got the lake, and then on the backside you've got Tornado, a thin sliver of land where part of Tornado is, and then part of where Dragon was. So in terms of land, there's not a whole lot there unless you're going to go over the water. So water park expansion doesn't make sense for a couple reasons. If you were going to take out a ride to do a water park expansion, you would take out Outlaw.
Well, or you would take out some of the stuff over there. Like, they have all those flat rides over there, like next to Outlaw, and it just to me it just doesn't make sense. To do that, to do a water park expansion, like you said, they just built that water park. It's fairly new. They probably would have planned it to do something water park wise. So I'm thinking it's going to be, something a little bit, hopefully roller coaster based. And my first thought when I saw this was, man, wouldn't a single rail fit real nice over there? You could use your classic Raptor track that Wonder Woman and Railblazer is. It wouldn't take up a whole lot of land. You could probably plop it right where the helixes are right now for the most part. But man, if you did a custom layout like a Jersey Devil or something, maybe a little bit bigger, and used more of that land, man, you could have something real nice over there, I think, Danny.
Yeah, you could do some really cool stuff. That's for sure. I guess it would make sense. In terms of the roller coasters, taking out Dragon, they've already got the 2 wood coasters with Tornado and Outlaw. Now they're both older. Tornado 1978, Outlaw in 1993. So you could maybe talk me into believing that there's a newer wood coaster, maybe a GCI or Gravity Group, but I'm not going to lean that way for sure. In terms of steel, you've got the Underground too, which is 1996, which is a dark ride indoor wood coaster. You just took out Dragon, which was 1990, I think. In terms of steel, you've got Monster, which was 2016, which we've talked about plenty of times here on this show. And then 2019, the spinning coaster, Phoenix, which is the newest. So they've kind of done the compact looping coaster. They've kind of done the family steel coaster here. So it almost seems to me that like higher thrill coaster is maybe next on the docket here.
Well, you could do something smaller too. You could do like a free fly or maybe even, who knows, maybe that whole Lost Island park fell through based on, all this COVID stuff, and maybe they don't want Cannon anymore. Could Cannon find another new home?
That's an option, right? Because that place isn't far away. We talked about Cannon for Adventureland a couple years ago.
And for all the people saying, oh, well, South Dakota's getting a single rail, we mapped it. Wild West World in South Dakota is 10 hours away from Adventureland. So
you could drive to Great America and back.
Yes, and the amount of time just to get there. So I don't think that would have any bearing on this decision whatsoever.
10 hours certainly does not.
And to be honest with you, maybe Wild West World, maybe their deal fell through with RMC because of COVID.
If Wild West World was supposedly doing a clone of the Railblazer Wonder Woman style, that's even if they put it, how many parks within an hour of each other or less put in B&M inverted coasters? Hershey, Dorney Park, Great Adventure, they all have B&M inverted coasters. They're all different designs.
And to be honest with you, the closest Raptor track, well, man, you have that one 10 hours away. How far is San Antonio from Iowa? Like you're talking about way huge distances here.
Yeah, so if they do a custom layout, then who really cares, right?
Yeah. Even if they put in the clone, I'm saying I don't think a whole lot of people would care. You would give the Midwest, and I don't think South Dakota is the Midwest. It's like we said,
bordering on like Mountain West.
South Dakota, where Wild West World is, it's 5 hours from Denver. It's straight north of Denver. So like you're almost in the mountain.
Look it up on a map. We did this earlier, and I was surprised. It's near the Custer National Forest, which is on the border of South Dakota and Montana.
Yeah.
So think about Wild West World basically being in Montana. I originally thought, Iowa. Oh, well, South Dakota is just a little bit north of that, but it's Minnesota that's north of Iowa, and South Dakota is farther west, and then Wild West World is to the far west. So your Wild West World is basically Montana, which is really Rocky Mountain West. Which is not what I think of as Midwest. I think of that as Rocky Mountains.
That's West. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good old Frontier West is what I say. So I really think single rail. But let's be honest. I'm hoping for single rail. I think a single rail, a custom single rail would be super exciting. maybe even a clone of Jersey Devil, because Jersey Devil's real thin, and I wonder if Jersey Devil could fit right alongside like the brake run of Tornado. Like I'm looking at a Google map right now.
You could probably do something very similar. I think Jersey Devil's awfully long though.
I'm telling you, those helixes stack like a figure eight, and then you could go straight down, and those double loops, even though it curves with the lake, I don't think you would have to curve it. You would just go straight up and down. Or just go straight up and down along with the Dragon Station. Oh man, there's ways I think you could fit it in there.
No, I think there's plenty of options. And again, I think they could certainly do something that's custom, just like they did with Monster.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited about this. There's other options like Free Flies or Dark Rides,
Skyrocket 2s.
Skyrocket 2. I'm not looking for a huge B&M here, although that would blow the world up, wouldn't it? Because wait a minute, Danny, isn't there B&M track that nobody knows where it's going right now?
I don't know.
I am pretty sure, because a lot of people were talking about that surf coaster nonsense last week, and we found out that was a hoax. So a lot of people were talking about.
Well, the surf coaster isn't a hoax, but the images associated with it is.
So people were talking about maybe SeaWorld Orlando getting a new B&M coaster, maybe a surf coaster. We don't know what that means yet. But what if Altoona, Iowa? What if Adventureland made a big play and got a B&M coaster, and maybe some of that track's going there? I don't know. I think that's your wild card. That's your dark horse here. But I think single rail is not out of the realm of possibility.
No, I agree. And again, I think the single rails were designed with maybe the smaller parts in mind. So who knows?
Yeah. And really, like you said, with the smaller park in mind, that a single rail, especially a custom one, I think pushes Adventureland over that hump. That they have Monster, that's a fantastic steel coaster. They've got Tornado's a solid wood coaster, Outlaw's a solid wood coaster. They've got, the new spinning family coaster. They've got a
Storm Chaser.
They've got the best Storm Chaser in the world. What more do you want from a park, right?
Let's be honest. Adventureland's got a lot of charm to it. Let's be honest here.
It does. It's got that early Disney feel up front with the Main Street. It's got a lot of people love trees. Enthusiasts love trees. It's got trees and spades. It's got that lake. It has that kitschiness a little bit where you got to go over that water to get to the next part of the park. Adventureland's a really nice park. I did not visit the water park when I was there, but it's got a sizable water park, like not a huge water park, but there's enough to do there. And then it's in a really nice area. You got a racetrack across the street. You got a casino across the street. There's an RV park across the street. There's a whole lot going on in this complex. And if they start expanding, and I don't know what land they own, I don't know what land they could own, I don't know what land they could buy, but there's a lot of areas on this map to possibly expand into. So I think there's a lot to be excited about for Adventureland. And just looking at their parking lot, it looks like their parking lot's as big as their park. So that'll tell you something.
And it was nearly full the day that we went.
It really was. Like their parking, I don't know if it was full, but it was packed with people. Packed. They're making money there. So them putting in another steel coaster 5 years down the road, especially Monster, probably 10 to 12 million. Doing another single rail, probably 10 to 15 million. They've got people coming through the gate to maybe justify expenditures like that.
No, I completely agree. I think it would be a good move.
So we will keep you updated here on COASTER-net Update. Hopefully we get some better news here and we get some good news coming out of these parks soon enough. I know Tony Clark's been teasing some stuff online. We'll see what happens there. So as always, hey, but Danny, those Cedar Point fans, you get your 2-year celebration now. So finally,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So as always, I am Andy Rabarchak from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Danny Miller from Binghamton, New York.
Right on, Red Warriors.
See you next time, guys.